Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me as I reflect on my MBA journey. This program has been one of the most transformative experiences of my career, and I'm excited to share what motivated me to start, the challenges I faced, and the lessons I learned, and how this will shape my future. Before I dive in, just a quick note. I'm used to giving speeches. Professionally, I speak to my entire shop floor every quarter to share where the business stands and to express gratitude for their efforts. And I never use notes because it feels more genuine. So doing this with written transcript feels a little strange for me, actually kind of robotic. I'm sure I seem robotic already, but I wanted to make sure I hit all the points for this reflection, so I typed up a transcript before I recorded this video. So why I pursued my MBA? My decision to pursue an MBA was very straightforward. I mean, my boss told me that if I wanted the promotion I was aiming for, I needed to earn this degree. That conversation kind of stuck with me though, because it wasn't just about a title, it was about proving that I could take on more responsibility and lead at a higher level. Thankfully, my company supported me financially, which made the decision a lot easier. I saw this as an investment in myself and my future career growth. At that moment, I realized this wasn't just a checkbox for advancement. It was an opportunity to strengthen my skills and broaden my perspective. That mindset carried me through the entire program. Expectations versus reality. When I started, I expected this journey to be extremely difficult because I struggled during my bachelor's degree. I kind of pictured late nights, stress, and for a while I kind of thought maybe even failure. But what surprised me is I've matured in my career. I've learned discipline and time management. Those skills turned what I expected to be a nightmare into a challenge that I could handle. I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy, but it was achievable. The difference this time was purpose. I wasn't just earning credits to try and earn some pointless degree and didn't know what I was going to be doing with my degree in that future. Just, hey, I got a degree. I was actually applying what I learned in real time at work. That connection made the experience meaningful and motivating. Personal growth and challenges. The biggest challenge was balancing work, school, and life. As many have already noted in their own reflections, during this program, I bought my first home, I welcomed my second child, and I had to travel a lot for work and leisure. There were nights I was writing papers after putting my kids to bed and mornings when I was reviewing assignments before heading into the plant. And despite these challenges, I never missed a single deadline. Even when I've reached out and asked for extensions, they were approved. I never missed the original deadline, and I owe that to my own work ethic. I'm even proud to say I've maintained a 4.0, assuming these next 2 weeks go well. And that's something I never imagined in a million years. My bachelor's degree did not show that I had the capability of doing something like that. And another big highlight for me is I know a lot of my peers struggled with the CAPSIM simulation. And for me, it really clicked because it mirrored what I do in my everyday in manufacturing, making decisions that impact performance. Seeing those decisions play out in a simulated environment really reinforced the importance of strategy and data-driven thinking, but it also kind of told me that I'm good at what I do. Some key learnings from the program, several courses stood out for me. BUS 632, which was my advanced financial statement analysis, taught me how to analyze financial ratios and interpret what they mean for a business, which helps areas for improvement, identify areas for improvement. This was huge because I was building pro formas and budgets at work for the first time while I was taking this course. I was meeting with my vice president about some of these forecasts and pro formas I was working on, and I was coming home and learning about how to do pro formas and kind of strategies to apply, which is kind of convenient. BUS 525, Business Strategy and Planning, introduced me to Porter's Five Forces and SWOT analysis. They're tools that I now use when thinking about competitive positioning and long-term planning. Something my mentor had actually showed me probably 2 months before even signing up for my MBA. I was learning about SWOT analysis from him, so it was nice to see it applied on both ends. And my third class that kind of surprised me, that stood out at the very beginning, was BUS 503, the Individual Performance and Leading Change. It helped me understand personality traits and how to approach different individuals. I remember coming into work and saying, I finally understand why I clash with certain people here, and here's what I'm going to do to fix it. And that was powerful. These courses weren't just academic, they were practical, they were immediately relevant to my work, and that's what made this program so valuable for me. Other real-world applications, these lessons have had a direct impact on my role as a manufacturing manager. I've applied forecasting and budgeting skills from financing courses, as I previously noted. The strategic thinking from BUS 525 helped me make better decisions. Understanding team dynamics made me a stronger leader, and these skills position me for a future senior management role. I now approach problems with data-driven mindset and a strategic lens. For example, when reviewing production efficiency, I don't just look at the output anymore. I consider cost implications, I consider resource allocation, and the long-term impact. And I think that's the The program's flexibility was a major strength for me. There were some weeks I was working weeks ahead. I was looking at the coursework and identifying what discussion boards needed to be written, doing my research, reading way ahead. And there were other weeks that I was submitting the deadline at 11 o'clock at night, and the deadline was 11:59 that night. Uh, but the clarity of the task kind of kept me on track. My suggestion to the program is updating these outdated syllabi and making grading feedback more transparent. As someone for work, I guess a lot of times it's just right or wrong. So when I see myself losing points on my assignments, I want to know why so I can improve and not lose points throughout the rest of the program for the same thing. Not that, that I don't want to complain about my grading or throw it out there and have people who had or lower expectations or higher expectations feel any way about the grades, but getting a 96 over and over and over again and looking at the grading rubric and seeing I lost it, but no comments of what I could have done differently, and then losing the same 4 points over and over and over again on multiple assignments was very frustrating. I wanted the 100. What did I need to do differently for the 100? And there were no comments. It was always great job. But overall, the experience was positive, well structured. I think that might be just the perfectionist in me that was looking for that kind of feedback. Closing the reflection, this MBA changed how I see leadership and strategy. My advice to anyone who's starting is to just stay diligent and remember your purpose of why you're doing this. Get a routine, build the routine that works for you, and communicate with your instructor as well. There's going to be tough weeks. Don't get lazy and push through because it's going to be worth it. For me, it wasn't just about the promotion anymore. At the start, it definitely was, but after a few terms, it was no longer about the promotion. It was more proving to myself that I could do this, and I did. Thanks for listening to my reflection. If I sounded a little scripted, just know it's not my usual style. Normally, I speak from the heart without notes, but for this, I want to make sure I captured everything